small gear. This is a bevel gear. It is made up of two gears and called a crown gear, and it's two bevel gear. This gear is a special one as it rotates perpendicular to one another. This gear is another type of simple gear, but it's better than the first one as it can rotate in at all angles. And now I'm going to explain to you about all the sensors we have learned in this class. The sensors now I'm going to talk about is the touch sensor, which helps sense whether it touches an object or bumps into it. So if it bumps into the wall, it can make a crying sound or do whatever we command it to do. The second sensor we learned about was the sound sensor, which senses sound. If we tell it to sense a sound that is high, which pitch is higher than 50, it will sense that pitch, and if it's higher than 50, it will do whatever we command it to do. The third sensor we learned about is the ultrasonic sensor, which senses how far we are from an object. So if we tell it to say that it's 10 centimeters away from a wall, it will go back and reverse or make some sound. Fourth and last sensor is the light sensor, which we have not learned much about. All we know is that it helps sense color. The last and final topic I'm going to talk about are the motors. The three motors are the A motor or the arm motor, the C motor and the D motor. The arm motor acts like a limb which helps kick balls, helps lift things, and there's many other things I will going to show you in our demonstration later on. The C and D motor, as it's called C and D motor, as it is attached to the port C and D here, B and C, sorry, and they help move the robot forward, backward, and help steer. This wheel at the back, if you can see, helps the steering of the robot. So if it's arranged at a wrong angle, it will make the robot go off track. Thank you for listening to my speech, and now I will call on Nikhil to tell what we have done tonight.
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Nikhil, and today I'm going to tell you what we have learned so far at Coding Minds. So, at the first day when we came at this class, so it told us a saying that failure is not an option. So that means that there is no such thing as failure. We also experienced making a first gear, as Nikhil had explained, and also the 3 gears of a robot, which is dull, dirty and dangerous. That means that from the robot's view, whatever it does, it's dull, dirty and dangerous. Because if a robot kicks a ball into the goal, it might sound interesting from our view, but if we were the person to kick a ball into goal, there's no such big deal about it. Our learning experience also included making a basic robot which had only 2 wheels, 2 sensors and a skid wheel, which helps the steering of the robot. Join to the NXT. The NXT is the brain, which is this. It's the brain, the memory and the heart of it. It acts like a memory which can save programs. It has a limit until 8 plus 7 programs it can save. The NXT's battery acts like a heart to the robot. The heart. Our next task was to make our robot go in a square along this tile line, and also make it go to a circle, a figure 8 and a curvy orbit like a snake. And then later on we added our sound sensor, which is will explain, and the touch sensor. Then we moved on to create a complex robot, which you can see here, which is a complex robot. It was initially, we felt it was hard because first of all the book that we were following didn't show precise details. It was only showing pictures and we had to follow them. And the next thing was we had to add sensors, all the 4 sensors and the A motor, which is the arm motor. And if we made a mistake while building it, we had to go all the way back to the step we made the mistake, and we had to proceed forward by correcting the mistakes, which was quite hard. So that's why we had to be accurate while building this complex robot. While we were making unnecessary modifications like putting beams just for design, Sir told us the KISS principle. At first we found it funny, but then Sir told us it was a full form of keep it simple stupid. Ma'am later added on, it was also said as keep it simple strategies. We also had a good time doing karate chop, pallet lifting, and also kicking the ball, which we are going to show you later in our presentation when we see the robots. Using an arm motor or the A motor. So making robots is no joke because it requires accurate mathematical calculations. We also learned how to calculate circumference by the radius, and ma'am gave us a project to measure the length of this line on the tile and measure the radius of the wheel and find out circumference and divide it by the length of the line so that we could get exactly how many rotations we will need to accurately go from this point to that point. We also had, it was also interesting learning about velocity, which was interesting. Sir also told us a simple difference between speed and velocity, which is that speed doesn't have any direction. We don't mention a direction in the speed, while in velocity, a direction is very important to mention. We also had a wonderful experience making our robots, and I hope you will enjoy watching them. Thank you.